Hi. So, my name is still Joe. I am still a fat black belt, last I checked. And today is a day of reckoning. Because it's the day after the Anya's birthday party celebration where I ate a tremendous amount of food. Only weighed in at 321 today, so a 1 pound increase. After all that is a little bit miraculous. I have my doubts that it's going to stick. I think it might be coming back tomorrow, but we'll see. Food today was pretty good. Got up, took the kids to the park, did some forms with friends, some Palge forms, if you're familiar with those, and if not, I'll tell you all about them. We went from there to lunch, which is traditional for us on a Saturday. I got a blackened salmon salad, which is, I think, maybe my favorite salad in the city. It's real good. After that was pool time with the kids, wherein I did quite a lot of heavy resistance kicking, right? Just to get a leg workout in. The lap lanes in the pool were full today pretty consistently when I looked at them. And truth be told, I like swimming, but man, not enough to share a lane with someone. So I just did what I could in the pool, played with the kids, got my yayas in that way. Afterwards, my wife wanted sort of, the classical cookout meal, the stuff that we didn't really get to do this year because nobody really feels like celebrating because the world is crap right now. Real quick, if you're watching this, I hope it's because everything is crappy and you're like, man, I really need a breather or something from how crappy everything is, and you're trying to take your mind off it. And I hope it's not because you're thinking to yourself, everything is fantastic and I need to, futz around on YouTube as a way of celebrating how awesome things are. And if you're in that latter group, you should go do anything else. There are some specific things, but I'm not going to talk about them here. But I have a list. I could help. Anyway, the point is, the cookout meal ended up being hot dogs, baked beans, that stuff. What else was in there? Hot dogs, baked beans. I made a bunch of broccoli because I can't go without vegetables for that long. I threw a bunch of sauerkraut on my hot dog, which is one of my favorite ways to eat a hot dog, is mustard and sauerkraut. There are still fireworks going off outside. There was a Yasso bar for dessert while my children watched Ghostbusters. They got real scared. And I forgot that there was a scene where a ghost gave Dan Aykroyd a blowjob. My wife had to fast forward through that. Thank you. There may be some peanuts later if I end up doing some writing. We're going to see how that goes. So overall, not bad. So I thought I'd tell a story because I have a few minutes. And since this is ostensibly a martial arts channel, let's tell some embarrassing martial arts stories. I have a lot of them, but I'm going to start with one of my most recent embarrassing martial arts stories. So I recently started doing Haedong Gumdo, which is a Korean sword style. And it's great, right? Super fun. I got into it because I really like forms. And there's about 56,000 forms in this particular style because there's so much finesse to it. Even their basic movements are forms. Their basic movements are forms. The focuses are all forms. So at every belt level, there's a form, but there's also just a bunch of stuff that is mini forms, a lot of mini forms. So I really enjoyed that. And a couple of weeks at this point, or probably a couple of months ago at this point, we went to Pittsburgh for a seminar. I was working on my form. There were probably 200-ish people there, including the head of the Grand Master, who is the head of the World Federation. He was a great guy. And at a certain point in time in the form that I was working on on that day, there's a bit at the end where you kind of flip your sword from an up grip to a down grip, you flip it, and then that's kind of how you you ward off and you put it away. It's just a quick put away at the end of the form. Mostly it's there for flash. It looks cool. And I was working on it in front of him with I have a wooden practice sword, and I flipped it, and I biffed the flip, and the sword came out of my hands and it hit the floor. Now, a thing you don't know about my sword, but I know about my sword, is it had a big knot in the middle of it, like a big dark spot, like a wood knot. That's why I got it, because I thought, man, that looks cool, and nobody else is going to get the sword with the knot in it. I had even drawn on the knot in like Sharpie to kind of accentuate it, because I thought that was neat looking. And a knot, as it turns out, is also a weak point in the wood. I mean, I knew that. And it hits just as he's walking by, watching my form, and giving me, like, technical advice, which is pretty invaluable from this guy. My sword hits the ground, and it literally just right at the knot came apart like a Lego. And, it wasn't hugely embarrassing or anything. So literally, he had to, like, run off and have the master who was hosting the event loan me a sword so that I could continue to work. He was a good sport about it. And I guess the upside to that is that at least he'll remember me next time as that guy who broke his sword. So if you got to make a first impression, at least I didn't poop on anything. The bar is very low. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. I hope to see people later. Feel free to complain about stuff in the comments or do whatever you like. Have a good day.